Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to my Show Me How It's Done series here at LaurensScrapLot on YouTube. I post my videos every Tuesday night for you guys, but of course you can watch the replays anytime. So no matter if you're watching right when the video has popped up or later, I hope you enjoy it and I hope you have fun crafting along with me. So today's technique that I want to show you was inspired by a fellow demonstrator named Patty Bennett. She showed me how to use this gorgeous sunflower 3D embossing folder to do a little inking technique different than one that I've shown before. So I hope you guys have either this folder or a similar 3D embossing folder and you can follow along with me to recreate this card yourself. As always, all of the project pieces can be ordered from my website, laurenerbonis.stampinup.net, or of course you can just use whatever you have at home. Feel free to mix up the colors, mix up the embossing folder, whatever you want to make this card your own. I'm just here to show you how it's done. So without further ado, let's get crafting. So I have this card with a Calypso Coral and Petal Pink combination for you, but if you stick around to the end, I have two other cards where I've used different color schemes, which can maybe give you more ideas of what you can do with this technique. So to start off with, let's get our card base going. That's just the easiest thing to get out of the way. So I have a Calypso Coral piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5. And I put a score mark down the middle at 4 1/4. This gives us our standard card size. You can fold this in half, and if you've got the bone folder handy, give a nice crisp fold there. Now on the inside of your card, it's always nice to have something to write on. So whether you want to grab white, ivory, or personally, I'm going to use basic beige in this color combination. You're just going to grab something light that your recipient would be able to read a note off of. So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to attach it with a flat adhesive. If you guys get lost at any point, or I forget to give you a measurement, just click that pause button. I did list all of the supplies and all the measurements in the description for you. You'll also find a few fun links to a calendar of events. If you're here in Canada, all of my kits can be mailed out and you can participate there. And to a link to my channel, because every Thursday from now until mid-November, I'm participating in the Great North American Stamping Show with 3 demonstrators from the States. So we have bonus projects to show you every week. So I put that info in the description for you too. Now, here's where it gets fun. We're going to put this card base aside and we're going to work on this sunflower piece for a minute here, okay? So we're going to get inky. Be prepared to hit that pause button and go wash your hands. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope that I can do this without getting too inky. So I've got a scrap piece of chipboard. This is the paper that kind of comes in the back of all of your designer series specialty paper packs. Keep these. They're great for if you do like mixed media or albums, or for me, I use them for scraps. So we're going to cut ourselves a piece of cardstock. This is going to be, and I have pre-embossed it, it's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I embossed it using that gorgeous sunflower 3D embossing folder. Now if you look at this folder, there's 2 sides to it. You've got one where all of the sunflowers are beautifully raised. This would be the one that you'd want if you were making just this card the feature. We're going to flip it over and actually use this negative side where these petals are kind of indented, because they're going to catch the most color as we pass over this. Now, we've probably seen the technique where you actually ink up the embossing folder ahead of time and then run your paper through. That is a great technique. But I loved this one because I could actually prep a bunch of these pieces ahead of time and then grab my ink of choice without getting the entire workspace inky or have to rinse my embossing folder in between all of my works. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral. It's the same color as my card base, but a couple other options of course would be to match that Petal Pink. You'd get like a nice softer tone, or you can just go to your shelf and see what you want to play with too. Calypso Coral ink pad. We are going to open it up, and the gist of this is we're going to basically run it all across our sheet. The nice thing is we're hiding this left-hand side, so in one clear pass, I'm just going to turn my ink pad over and gently rub it. So don't press really hard, you want the light color. And then for myself, I would like a little bit more color, so I'm going to do this once more, just from the bottom up. Gently pass over. It's going to start catching on all of those sections that are raised, and then you can just gently come in and brush over anything that you want to darken as well. Okay, if you want a lighter tone, then of course you would not add these extra details. If you want a darker tone, you can press harder, but I actually really like these subtle passes where the embossing folder, or the ink pad, sorry, hasn't quite touched all parts of the cardstock. It looks really, really good. And then once you throw it on a card, see, it looks like you've got the brush strokes hiding in there. Worst comes to worst, of course, you can always turn this over. You certainly can do this technique on the front. I'll even show you how it looks. I just really liked the negative look because I find on this one, I'm getting the ink more on the petals and on the leaves, and that might be the look you're going for. Maybe you would even switch out colors and have one color for the flower and one color for the leaves. It's completely up to you. I just personally liked the negative effect. I thought it made the flowers kind of pop out a little bit. I think I did pretty good. I'm not too inky. So you will need this for the sentiment later. Keep it handy. But for now, we're going to just set this guy aside just in case you got any, ink blobs or anything on there. Let it dry, and let's do a little bit of technique here with these ripped designer series papers. So what I've cut for myself is 2 pieces of designer series paper from the Country Woods package. They are 1 1/4 by 5 1/4, and you can see here there's so many different wood grains. So if you've chosen a different color palette, you might be able to kind of pick something that suits your needs a little bit more. This is a standard in my card room. I was so happy that it carried over from from the catalog last year, and it's around at least until next spring. So maybe add it to your collection. It works as a really nice base for you to work off of. So we've got our 2 pieces. We're going to start with the pine wood one here, and I'm going to rip up towards myself just along the right hand side of the sheet. I cut these more than large enough for you to get a good finger on there. As you can see, there's not that much of it poking out, but just rip up towards yourself and you'll get this great white look. Another option, if you don't have the designer paper and you have 2-tone cardstock, you can rip that because it'll have a nice white core for you. We're going to do the same thing now with our wood grain piece. However, you can just decide a little bit more on this one, how much you want to show. Okay, so maybe don't go right up to the edge. Take at least 1/2 inch off, because this whole piece is going to be showing on the front. And just ripping up towards yourself again. Very, very blatant white core in there, and it looks fantastic. Okay, let's assemble these 2 together. We're gonna put some adhesive on whichever piece you decide is your bottom one. You're gonna put flat adhesive right along that straight left-hand side and connect the 2 designer papers. So it's up to you how much of the bottom piece you have showing. But you can just play around for a minute as long as your bottom and your top are at the same height. And if they're not, you can always trim off a tiny bit because this one looks weird. There we go. That's your 1 layer. Now turn this over a second time, and we're going to put couple pieces of adhesive. You want quite a bit because remember, it's going onto a piece of embossed cardstock, which sometimes can be hard for your paper and adhesive to attach to. Now remember, I said you don't need to worry about this left-hand side when you're inking. It's because we're covering it up So nobody's going to know that it was never really inked. You didn't have to waste your time on it. So far, so good. Looking great. I thought it was really nice to add a little linen thread at this point. It kind of ties in the rustic look. So you'll need probably about, I don't even know, 20 inches? I don't know. Let's see. So you need enough for it to wrap around. I'm just doing this rough. 2, 3. How much is that? I would say that's about, yeah, 20 inches of linen thread, but honestly, leave it on the roll and just wrap it like I'm going to show you, and then it's very, very easy for you to just trim off what you don't need. Okay, we need 2 pieces of tape to hold our ribbon in place, and we're going to turn this paper over and attach one end of your ribbon like so. You don't want him falling off. And now I just want some crisscrosses in here, so it doesn't matter how you get it. But you're going to wrap this around the card 3 times, kind of going around, making sure you've got some things crossed over one another. This part is getting hidden by your tag, but you can see you can still tell they're at an angle. And then that other piece on your finger comes in handy. It's very, very easy now to just lock it in place. Well, this guy is turned over. Let's put some dimensionals on the back. Make sure you go around the whole perimeter because this is quite a hefty piece. You want it well supported and no awkward dips kind of in the middle of it. I'm using all of my edge pieces, if you're wondering. See, just used up that one. All the edge pieces from my dimensional sheets. All right, so I did the edge and then a couple in the middle just for good measure. Might as well. My puppy is howling at a fire truck outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but she's having fun. I think she's happy that the kids are back to school because she gets to visit all the students when she's dropping off with me. Okay, here we go. Card base. We've got our great little sunflower feature, and you should be able to center that on top with just the slightest little border all the way around. Now you get to have some fun here. So far we haven't used any specific bundles or dies, but I decided I did want to bring in a bundle that I'm actually playing with at my September monthly card class, which is Coneflower Celebrations. So this die set has a fantastic little die to make a fun flower and some butterfly and leaf features and stuff. But for this project, I just cut out a butterfly and used one of the sentiments here. So let me show you what I grabbed there. I stamped my butterfly with Calypso Coral ink on Calypso Coral paper. So I got that tone on tone look. And then I'm gonna just grab the sentiment that says, I love that I've known you for so many birthdays. But this set also is great because it has some belated birthday sentiments, which we know we all need. And then this It's Your Day is just beautiful. It fits on a lot of our rectangular dies and the stylish circles. Happy belated birthday's cute too. So a great set if you're looking for something kind of fall, could be spring, and just all around birthday orientated. But it does have a thank you and a you made my day. So great set. Okay, for the die, let's see. You could use whatever you want. You could even just cut out a rectangle. I use the textured note dies. They come in a variety of rectangles with different stitchings on them. So that's the set that I used. And I'm gonna put my sentiment right near the left-hand side of that one. All right, now before you add dimensionals to put on the back of this, keep in mind you are putting it over top of this linen thread. So imagine with me if you put dimensionals all over the back, you might have some of them bumping in to that linen thread. So trick of the trade is just put your dimensionals straight onto the card base itself, not on the linen thread, just on kind of either side of it. It's a nice large rectangle, so I want it balanced. I'm going to put 4 in here. And then I know for sure that my linen thread is not going to bump into anything. Now, if you're really concerned that, you know what, I don't feel like it's popping out enough, what you can do is you can pile 2 dimensionals on top of one another, and it would come, I guess, even further off your card. But I was quite happy with how this sat. Oops, I need to kind of hide some of those in there, I think. Again, just take your pick tool, it comes in handy, saves the day. Here we go. Hide you better. There. Looking good so far. Okay, next thing, except you're crooked. Oh my, so fun to do things. That's better. Last thing is your butterfly, but before you add it, I have a couple suggestions for techniques just to add some shading. You can add some glitter using your Wink of Stella pen, or you can use your watercolor pencils. So either match the color or use white to kind of lighten the butterfly. And you just kind of add a little bit of color, not on all of the spots, but just a few spots on your butterfly. And then when you color this with a blending brush, or either you can use an aqua painter as well, those are back in stock now, then you can see it will give a little shaded look to your butterfly. This will dry a little bit more, so it's not so much of a contrast, but it's fun and I like it. There we go. So there's our butterfly. Sorry, itchy eyeball. There we go. And now that dries really fast. You can go ahead and put a dimensional on this right-hand corner of the tag for your butterfly to rest on. Then the last thing to do is add a few gems. We have all sorts of different embellishments that you could grab. Those tiny bee trinkets would work beautifully. I just grabbed the muted palette dots. They come in 4 different colors. So for the cards that I was making, I could use all 4 of these colors in my schemes. They have kind of that dull rustic look to them. So nice selection there of options. Put on your butterfly, grab a few of these guys. I did all 3 colors on that one, but you could easily do a mix as well. Throw in a different color in there. I think I have 1 blue left. There we go. I was almost out of luck for a selection. There we go. There is the project for the week, but as promised, here are 2 more designs that you could do, and maybe in the comments, I would love to hear which of the 3 that you like the best. So either the Calypso Coral base, or are you somebody who likes the Cajun Craze, or do you prefer the blue Secret Sea base? So the combos for this is Secret Sea and Balmy Blue with Misty Moonlight ink. This one I used Cajun Craze base with crushed curry paper and Cajun Craze ink. And then this one we did was the Calypso Coral with the Petal Pink and the Calypso Coral ink. So I'd love to hear in the comments which one you like the best. As always, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support, and then you get notified whenever these videos and the Great North American Stampin' videos go up. If you have any questions, or if you need a demonstrator here in Canada, reach out. I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to get you on my email list. And all you have to do is ask. I'm here to answer whatever questions you have. See you on Thursday for the Great North American Stamping Show, and next Tuesday for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.